Really? Really?
I was built for rolling, you know.
Yeah. What, like tobacco? Right, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. This is going to be a return to the fabulous and usually very popular, Q&A live series. Now we're going to do a little series of these. It's going to be this one and one midweek because we've got about 40 questions. We did this one for the patrons only. We posed the questions just to the patrons for this one. As a start, we'll do broader, wide open questions to everybody else after this. But for now, this one is patrons only questions. There are about 40 Quizmeister. So for this amazing video, we have the lovely Penny Pistol, the rather rotund and extremely fantastic Mr Dyson.
Cheers!
And somebody else. Right, so tea. Do we have cake, woman?
Not yet.
Not yet, right.
You've got to learn it. You've got to
Earn it, learn it and earn it. Right, okay. So here we go. Your questions answered. Let's see if we can do any of these. Ready?
Right.
Go on, Penny.
S-Fest. Oh!
You're right there, dear.
It's just go.
Should we put this in the outtakes? No, let's leave it in.
Leave it in.
Make her look the fool she is. Make her look a fool, boy. Question answering fools.
It's because I'm sat up here.
That's right.
Right,
See,
I'll start again.
She's got the hammers up there as well. So
It's oh yeah, sharp pain in the back of my head.
S-Fest says he's just got one of your T120 black. What should be the first two things he should look to add or change? But he does live in New York City. How cool is that? Should it be mirrors, security, GPS tracker, locks, or anything else?
And a rifle sling and they hit down the box. Shotgun clip.
Yeah. A Rottweiler.
A Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Dog basket on the back for the Rottweiler. No, seriously?
Seriously.
Okay, New York City, Manhattan, yeah, obviously security is your major concern. And of course, I've always believed the best security is absence. If they can't see it,
they can't see it. Yeah, you can't.
So somewhere to keep your bike. If you, I know this is off field, but it is actually very sensible. If you can find somewhere to store your bike where nobody can get to it, that's the best security of all.
Yeah, I mean the bulk of thefts are opportunists, aren't they? They see it, case it, lift it.
That's it.
If they don't see it, they don't nick it.
That's right. So I would say, I mean, a tracker these days, I've started to read case histories on these where people have picked up vehicles that have been stolen months ago and traced to another country, and their trackers have picked them up. So I think a tracker, if you've got a bike that you really value and your insurance system doesn't pay you out the full money, so you're going to be left short, I'd say a tracker's a good investment.
Yeah, very good investment.
Because you won't stop them nicking it.
No, if it's a professional and they want it, they'll have it.
But of course with a tracker, you then get to find out where it is.
Yeah.
So when you found that out, you can go and visit them with your friends.
And I couldn't possibly, suggest that you.
Well, you could have a chat with them, and you could point out the error of their ways, couldn't you? And various other things which we wouldn't advocate. So moving on. So there we are. I'd say a tracker. Security, definitely a tracker, and make it loud because loud pipes save lives.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Right, Scott Hanson. Hi Scott. He says, when is the right time for a newish rider to ride a sports bike like an R6 or GSXR 600?
I'd say
just do it.
As you get home from your test, pull it out the garage and go and ride it. What are you waiting for? Honestly, I hear this a lot about riders. What should I ride? How long should I wait? Some sort of bizarre step-up thing where you ride something smaller to start with. Don't believe in it all. Go and ride the bike you want to ride. The only thing I might suggest is talk to your instructor and see if that instructor will come out with you on your new bike for maybe a day or even an hour and give you some pointers on handling, even if it's around an unmarked, like a car park you did your CBT on. So take your R6 to the CBT ground and do the same kind of practice you did at the beginning, just to get familiar.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you are controlling the bike. I mean, it shouldn't be the other way around. You shouldn't think that the bike is going to control you, and because it's a particular bike, it's a no-go area.
Yeah, definitely. Have what you want.
Have what you want.
Obviously, you've got to keep it real. Hayabusa R1, it's got to be physically within your capability. So a great big monstrous thing like a Hayabusa, and you're a little waif of a person, maybe build up for your physical strength. But an R6 is a tiny little thing. Anybody can ride it.
I mean, I was recently.
You used to have an R6, didn't you?
I was recently asked on my channel about the Sax Roadster 650. Was it, is it a good bike for a new rider? And I think it is. It's easy to ride. It's low. It doesn't do anything scary. But as good as it is, you'll be bored of it in a fortnight.
Yeah, that's the point. Don't get bored with your bike. Get a bike that makes you feel scared and then gradually get on top of it.
And then just master it.
Yeah, absolutely. Be the master.
His second part of his question was girlfriends and motorbikes. That's not a film.
Never mix the two.
That's not a film, Dave.
That's not a film.
Sorry, I'm going to make some notes over it.
I've got one until I get the other sorted.
Is there any guidance for getting a girlfriend more involved with bikes and feel comfortable riding pillion?
Yes, there is. Now, you'd probably advocate this too. I think what it's about is where you choose to go on your bike and what you choose to do socially with your bike. You need to make that a girlfriend-friendly environment, right?
Yeah.
So don't take her to the local Hells Angels clubhouse for a knife-throwing party.
Unless her name's Bernard.
And she has a beard already. But I would say if you take her to somewhere where she's going to feel at home, put on the bike, then I guess you're kind of easing them into it. And that, wouldn't you say something?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? From a girl's point of view?
I would agree, but it's difficult because if they're adamant they're not interested whatsoever, there's nothing you can do to change it.
No, you can't polish.
No, you can't. You can't fundamentally change people.
All you can do is sort of try and involve them, and like I did.
Or bury them under the patio.
That's the other one, yeah. Just get those slabs you can lift and put back down again. And go and get another girlfriend, mate.
That slab still rocks a bit. Yeah.
But you can go through all the old things about riding pillion. Don't go too fast. Make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
There's all those things you can do.
All the usual suspects.
Don't go out and have a lads ride if you've got your girlfriend.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you're going to ride, the first time you ride, first impressions and all that, first time you ride with them, just take it steady. Don't frighten them. You're not impressing anybody. I see so many people ride like a bell end because they think it somehow impresses the young lady and makes her think that you're a warrior. It doesn't. She just thinks you're a bit of a knob. And ultimately you've frightened her and she probably won't get back on it. So you haven't achieved anything, have you?
No.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we've covered it in other Q&As, and I think it's making sure that she's got all the right gear, she feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to take it from there.
Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.
Right, next question. Martin says, if you could actually choose where the garage would go and what you would be doing in 3 years' time to a much bigger audience, what would it be like? What is your dream?
What, last night? Oh no, not that dream, sorry. Well, I don't know, the dream is like all these things. I personally think that I'd love to, wouldn't it be great to have a TV show? Something like OCC, like American Chopper, but done like we do it here. Yeah. Common sense, meaty, interesting, facts, keeping things real, not frippery and smashing up fax machines and arguing. Real people doing real stuff.
Like Shed and Buried.
Shed and Buried.
Making the tea.
With Shed and Buried's good, but that's kind of about buying and selling.
Yeah.
I kind of mix it.
That's Sam Lovegrove. What a genius.
He is a clever man. He knows about old things.
Henry Cole's a bit. But Sam Lovegrove.
He's a bit foppy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I do like Henry.
It's like you and Dave, isn't it? You and Dave.
Which one's Henry Cole?
Well, obviously Dave's the intelligent one.
Well, we're bringing the old levels,
so I'm Henry Cole then. So do I have to talk like him?
So,
I can't do that. It's that funny talking.
Time for you to cry now, isn't it?
Time for you to have a little weep, isn't it? Yeah, moan about everything. I do that already.
Yeah.
Maybe we are.
It's raining, I'm depressed.
That's it. You have to ride up the road in that vest with all the armour. Looking like someone stole your leather jacket because it's hot.
Yeah, you've got a hell of a moth problem.
Yeah, you have. I'd say doing what we do now, but on a TV show scale. So professional production, proper cameras, and we can deal with that sound issue, couldn't we?
What sound issue?
What sound issue?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Issue. So yeah, there we are. Professional, but the same as we do it now. How's that? Go.
William McKinnon. Hi, William. It says, thinking of getting a helmet cam. Doesn't want to spend too much money. GoPros are everywhere, but they're bulky and look bulky and very expensive. Wants to spend about half that.
Listen, you do more helmet.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of GoPros, and they are bulky. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Tell
keeps you balanced. and they are bulky.
You're like a Google Street View guy.
Yeah. I need a few more, I think. But I mean, I always waited until there was a new model out and then bought the old model because you can get them for half the money.
Second hand is always the key.
So because as soon as they bring out the GoPro 97 or whatever it is, that somebody somewhere's got a warehouse full of the Mark 96. They just want to get shot off.
Absolutely.
So they're cheap as chips.
Or second hand. I mean, they're indestructible, aren't they?
I mean, they are pretty good. I mean, I've had one die. I've had one die in what?
Is that because you ran it over? Is that the one you ran over? They tend to do that. I'll tell you what he's saying about the GoPros being bulky. I think the contour doesn't Nelly runs a contour, which drift. He runs a little drift. If you want a little one, a little baby drift, it's got no sound. But if you don't want sound and waffling, then the little tiny drift is literally Oh, it's weeny, it's like a matchbox.
I mean they
not
are.
a flat thing, they're quite nice. And there's the contour, isn't there?
Yeah.
They're quite nice. So there's loads, just have a look at the market.
Yeah, but yeah.
Just don't go clipping your mobile phone on the front of your jacket.
No.
That's just shit, it doesn't work.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, moving on. I'd suggest you did that.
I'll just give his first name, because when I read the question, you'll understand why. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Go on.
Tyler says, what's your opinion on CBT having to ride on L plates? And when these L plates mysteriously fall off every now and again when he's on the road, road users treat him with much more respect. Is it common, or is he just unlucky with the people he's been encountering?
Actually, that's a very valid point, isn't it?
It is.
It's that whole issue of L plates. Does an L plate make car drivers treat you differently? I think it does, doesn't it?
I think it does. You become some sort of pariah, aren't you? You are a target almost.
Girls get it though.
You got this. When you used to wear a pink jacket, you got car drivers all the time trying to pummel you and push you out of the way and bully you. The minute you just wear all black, they don't know whether you're a girl.
Yeah.
That then makes a difference, doesn't it? They tend to back off it. You know, it's like all these things. You've got to have L plates, unfortunately. I'll tell you what I would advocate though, and this might be controversial, is I would get rid of L plates altogether, but not allow learners to ride without them. I would take away the ability to ride on L plates anyway. I do not believe riding on L plates as a learner is a wise thing to do. I really don't. I believe in training, and I think that if the training was more affordable, was cheaper, people wouldn't have to ride around on L plates while they save up the money for the test. If the government was to put some input into this and make it reasonably cheap and simple for someone to get a bike licence, even if it's only the basic restriction.
I mean, that's a whole issue on its own.
Yeah, the A2.
The actual cost of going from nothing to a full bike licence is just monstrous.
If it's too expensive, people will do it anyway. They'll just do it illegally. They'll ride around. I reckon if you surveyed 100 learner riders, 50% of them would admit at some point to riding without L plates because they don't look cool, and I absolutely believe in that. Your bike's got to look cool, and the average teenager wants to look cool.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the main point. You see them cutting their L plates down to just the L, with a tiny little white board, like a biro with white line around it, and then sellotaping it basically up under the tank. You know, I've got one, tick.
It's here in my pocket.
So I think if your ability to get a licence in the first place was done as a simple course, like college, if you went to college as a young person and you could simply do that as a course, basically free of charge, but bring your own bike, then I'd say you wouldn't have to ride L plates, it wouldn't be an issue. Job done, tick, next.
Peter Clark says, do you have a simple way of stopping the helmet visor steaming up if you don't like the double glazed clip-ons?
You could lick it.
You could, yeah. Up the inside. Sneeze really hard and then wipe it round. No, seriously, the divers do that. They spit in their visor and wet, and it doesn't mist up. But I think he's got a point. He's talking about clip, what were they called?
Oh yeah, the old
the clip-on things go inside.
Bob Heath and all that malarkey.
Double glazed.
I can't remember the name.
Can't remember the names of them. Basically shades. But I think if you don't wear, if you leave it open, do you have some O-ring?
Well, I mean, I wear glasses, as you may or may not have noticed, and glasses have a similar problem as the inside of visors, particularly in the winter and all the rest of it.
Cold and hot.
And the best fix is a bit of airflow, and I have in the past glued a little O-ring just sort of there on the visor, just so it doesn't fully shut.
Just let me.
Because I am notorious for being a skinflint.
No.
We're the same.
We're the same though, yeah. My life so soon already, my dear.
So the options are a 40 quid pinlock visor or an O-ring nicked out the stores at work.
Not admitting to anything. Found off the floor.
Oh yeah.
An old
I found it on the way home.
Like no longer works for that company.
Good way down, you notice really, isn't it? So,
bit of airflow is
there's various stuff you can wipe inside of it. Other washing up liquid.
Washing up liquid. I mean, that's another one, isn't it? I mean, lots of people go, "Oh, it doesn't work. But actually, if you do it properly, it does work.
But you get that though, don't you?
Yeah.
Because it's not flat, so you get this wobbly line. But then I get that anyway. That's just my eyesight. Right, next one.
Right, Sammy Fuego.
Fuego
says, I was wondering if bike riders over in the UK ever run 8-hangers. Yeah, I do know someone who rides 8-hangers.
Go on. Who's that?
Vic.
Yes, our mate Vic's got 8-hangers, 28-inch 8-hangers, higher than his head.
I saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
I'd have to have my arms extended.
You end up with scabs on your knuckles then, they're dragging on the ground.
The bone broken and a bit put in.
It's not common though, is it?
It's not as common as it is in the US because choppers are fundamentally an American thing. So the whole principle of 8-hangers comes from the world of choppers And that's, again, you know, it's a different culture. Yeah. So British culture has never evolved into it. But there's plenty of people who love choppers here, and I love choppers.
I love choppers.
I'd love to have a proper full-on Swedish style, long full
probably
chopper.
raked back,
but probably just
halfway to Brighton.
Just to stand it there really and ping elastic bands out, because you can't ride the bike in the hedge, dans le jardin. Don't know. Yeah, but there are, but just not so many as you. Much the same as over there, you don't have so many sports bikes as we do, do they?
No.
I would imagine.
Not with A-bangers anyway.
No, not with A-bangers, no. That's really awkward, isn't it?
We'd flip them over as like clip-ons.
Really low clip-ons. Moving right along. What do you play these tea today?
Yeah, I know. Paul Malurek, I hope I said that correct. Can you create a valve check video for the Bonneville range?
Can you make a video? How many times do we get that? Blimey. Well, look, I would say we get this all of the time. I must have had 100 requests. Can you make a video of valve shim checks? Yes, of course, it's very easy, because it's very easy to check valves. And this is the point, it's the word check. You can take the cam cover off any bike. It's just a series of bolts. You can get to the cams. You can turn the engine over so that the pointy bit of the cam is pointing away from the shim, and you can stick a feeler gauge in. There you are, checked. There's your video. Don't need one. The problem comes when they're too small a gap and you need to change the shims. Then on most bikes you need to take the cams out.
Yeah.
And that is why we don't do it, because by the time you start doing that, you're an absolute novice. I think you coined this phrase after, if you need to ask and you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
You know, personally, no we won't. We will not be doing a how-to on valve clearances. The reason is, I believe that's leading you down a road that is too rocky and can get you into a whole lot of mess, and I do not want to be responsible for that, do we? I don't think that's relevant. I don't think it's safe, and I don't think it's responsible. If you're at that level where you're competent to do it, you don't need the video.
No, exactly.
It's so easy to check them. So you could check them, take the cam cover off and do the check. Just turn the cam so the pointed bit is away from the shim, and then check it with a feeler gauge. You get all the relevant values in your manual. But once you find that if they're all right, put the cam cover, job done. That's peace of mind, isn't it? But most bikes under 30,000 miles, never in my career have I done anything to the shims in a bike under 30,000 miles, and on that basis I don't even check.
I mean, since bikes started having their valve adjustment done by shim, I don't think I've ever done one. No. Ever. No, the Bandit's lock nut adjustments, and I didn't check that for the first time until it had 45,000 miles on it. And I checked them and they were all within tolerance. I had to make a couple of little adjustments, 40,000. I've never checked valve clearances under 30,000 miles. You check yours if you want to, if your book says to do it, then you check them. But a lot of it's back covering, isn't it? Yeah.
By the manufacturer and the dealer. Yeah. You know, so there's no issues. But like you said, they don't recess the heads anymore. They don't close up.
I mean, valve seats are a lot harder than they used to be because of unleaded petrol and all the rest of it. Stuff doesn't hob itself.
Well, when you look at it, right, you look at a modern engine today, they'll do 100,000 miles without thinking. So therefore, if about halfway through its life it needs the shims checked, 50,000 miles. On the other hand, go back to the 70s. Your average, GS 750 Suzuki, shelf life 45,000 miles, and it would start having major issues. So half-life, 12 to 20,000. So you see the point, because engines are so much more longevity now, they don't need them checked so early and so often. That's what I think anyway. And also modern oils as well.
Yes.
Modern oils and modern engines don't wear like they used to.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, all that kind of stuff, the oils and so on, like with clothing and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it all romps on. It gets better and better and better and better. Stuff doesn't get worse, does it?
Well, Chinese stuff came in a while ago, didn't it? That reminded us where we came from, didn't it?
Yes.
That's the point, isn't it? A Chinese bike lasts about as long as a 70s Japanese bike.
Exactly, they're a little bit behind, aren't they?
They are just a little bit. They'll get there.
They're all at home with their little rubber.
They're getting better.
Doing that with the old valve seats.
Lubber.
Yeah.
Lubber.
I can see I'm going to have to get a hammer away. But that answers the question.
That answers the question 4 times. Moving right along.
Anyway, moving swiftly on.
Climbing down off the fence.
Fraser McKay says he's got a 07 Bonneville Black he bought 4 years ago. When he bought it, there was paint flaking off part of the engine, which is gradually getting worse. Is it best to repaint this part, strip the engine down, or do it while it's in place?
Depends where it is, doesn't it?
And it depends what you want. I mean, do you want it to last another 12 months, or do you want it to last forever?
If it's a casing you can get off
easily, if you can get at it.
Then naturally get it off. If it's the actual engine case itself, if it's the crankcase, you can't. I wouldn't go taking an engine out for that unless really want it done. It depends how much work you're prepared to put in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I mean, provided you can get to it, and and you get it all decently clean and all the rest of it. You could do it in situ, rather than go to all the trouble of taking the thing to bits.
Cool, definitely.
Okay, hope that helps.
Cool.
Glenn Penfold asks, if the Patreon pledges increase, would you consider giving up your day job and do this full time?
Are you looking for any employees?
I don't.
Sorry, Dave, we wouldn't employ you.
I'd employ someone who knows what they're talking about.
What's the pension scheme like?
What's the time off? Do I get company
minimum wage, wouldn't
It would be minimum wage, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Hang on, it's Sunday. Am I double time?
Yes, double knock. No, honestly,
That's a serious question.
Serious question. The thing with Patreon is that it is a support network. It is the ability for your viewers to donate a small amount to fund what you're doing. It isn't there to fund our lifestyle. What we're using the Patreon money for at the moment is to fund the Kawasaki fighter build and a little bit more of the equipment for the garage to keep things moving forward. It isn't about us. We don't want that money to live on. We have still got full-time day jobs and we'll probably keep it that way while we can fit everything else in, won't we? But I think for Patreon, what a lot of people don't understand is when you look at how much money you see on the Patreon page, that it's just under $600 odd per video. It doesn't quite work like that because there are many people, most of the patrons make a cap on the amount that they give, and that's their choice. And once that cap is reached, you don't get it on the next video. So the first video might get that much, the second video halves roughly, and then the third halves, and again and again. So that amount that you see per video, it drops roughly by half per video. So by the time we get to 8 or 9 videos, we're down in double figures. So it's not funding as much as you think. There are charges on it, there are costs from it, there are fees for it and so on. So at the moment, what Patreon is doing, Patreon is funding what we do, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's buying all the parts for the bike, it's buying the tools, it's paid for the welder upgrade, and it's given us the ability to do stuff that would have taken maybe another year. So it's putting us ahead of where we are, keeping the content as it is. But giving up the day job, that's a long way from now. It really is, but we're ready. Ready. I can write my notes out in half an hour, if I spell it all correct.
It is making the garage self-funding, whereas we were working extra to fund the garage.
That's
and it's peripheral things like the
Cake.
upgraded, cake. Well, only when you're here. It's the things like the upgraded broadband upload speeds that we have to pay extra for. So it's little things like that perhaps people don't realise.
Yeah, I mean our broadband is £70 a month, isn't it?
Yes.
Most people pay about 15.
Yes.
So that's all we get, the upload and download speed that we need to do everything. Otherwise it would take overnight to load videos.
Yeah.
We can load them in real time.
The Patreon thing is very special. We thank you.
It is, yeah. Thank you to the patrons. It's their questions that we're doing today.
Back in TAS, he's in America.
Cool.
Assuming tyre tread is good, because a bike has very few miles, how often should tyres be replaced? He's looking at an 8-year-old bike with original tyres and feels the tyres should be replaced because of the rubber.
You know better, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, it does deteriorate over time.
Well, it's a chemical.
Yeah,
solid,
I mean, it sort of
it's a compound.
It starts to return to its sort of natural form.
Oxidizes, it dries out.
If you've got an 8-year-old bike, that's probably about the limit, really.
Borderline.
Yeah, you'd probably be all right at the moment, but you wouldn't want to run it much longer.
Well, the difference is all right versus the improvement you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, you will notice a huge difference.
Yeah.
For I mean, there aren't any bad tyres these days, are there not?
But also, in 8 years, tyre technology has moved on. It moves on in 8 months. So we, on the Scrambler for Penny, what we did was put the new Conti Motions or Continental Motion tyres on it, and it absolutely transformed the handling from the old Avon Road Riders, which we had before, and they were technology that's about 2 or 3 years old. So the guy we use for tyres, he says, always try and update your tyres technology as you replace them.
Like with the oil and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Things just get better and better and better.
Yeah, it's a worthy investment because you'll enjoy your bike.
You will notice a huge difference.
Yeah, the money you spend will repay you in riding quality. Do you like that?
Yeah,
it's quite good.
There's almost a catchphage going there, isn't there? Yeah, you should be on the telly.
I should. Sat on top of it like a little gnome. Moving right along.
Right, next one. Lewis McNabb says, due to a motorcycle accident in early January, sorry to hear that,
mate.
He's without a bike because his K100 BMW is irreparable. But he needs some advice. Obviously, he's looking for a low-power cruiser of 300 to 500cc because the insurance premiums are likely to go up because of his claim. What do you recommend?
Well, I'd check that first. It sounds like
you say likely. Yeah, you are maybe presuming that.
Before you make a massive decision to purchase a bike you might not like, make sure that the reasoning that insurance thing is true.
Because if you push yourself up sort of 650, 750, you open up a much bigger choice.
You do, not only that, I don't think cruiser bikes are that expensive to insure no matter what the cc.
No.
You get a 1000cc cruiser bike is probably cheaper to insure than a 250 sports bike.
Yeah, probably.
It's not all on the cc, it's on the how often it's stolen and things like that, isn't it?
I mean, obviously, there's the accident to take into account, but over and above that, I mean, what age you are, your number of years riding, what postcode you live in, I mean, have as much bearing.
Yeah, do some research.
That's what you're riding. So do a little bit of research.
Do some research and drop us a line. And you keep in touch on that one because obviously we can guide you along the way. But do make sure that you don't forfeit the bike you want for things you presume. Make sure those things are correct. Don't just presume them because you could lose out.
Cool.
Good luck with it and I hope you get well soon, my friend.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. Spin dryer says...
Spin dryer?
Yeah, he's nice.
Cool.
I'm on a twilly tub myself.
Can you remove a bike engine?
Or a telly tub.
I can't even get my questions out now.
Sorry. We get hammer on the back of the Swede in a minute.
That's why I sat up here. Can you get a bike engine out without a hoist on your own with a technique, or do you have to have a DIY hoist of some kind? He's got a Divi 600 1992.
It's a lightweight bike.
Yeah, fairly
easy.
Yeah, it can be done, certainly.
Big pile of blankets on the floor. Made like a bed block. Who remembers bed? You won't remember. Bed blocks. Hands up who's ever made bed blocks. Right, you want it about sort of 2 foot square pile of blankets, about a foot tall. Take the tank off, take the wheels out, take whatever you can, and then with the bike sitting on the ground, roll it onto its side. Lay the bike, lay the engine on the pile of blankets. So lay the bike down onto the pile of blankets, then you can take the wheels out to get the weight down, and then undo everything and lift the bike off the engine.
Because you're actually taking the bike off the engine rather than the engine out of the bike.
Because it's lighter, easier to get hold of, and much easier to manoeuvre, isn't it? Cover all the frame with tape, get gaffer tape around the frame where it might scratch or scrape, and that goes for getting it back in again. Once the engine's out, then you can get the new engine, or once you've fixed it, you can lay it back on its side on that pile of blankets, and then you can put the frame back over the top.
I don't know about the Divi, but a lot of bikes have a removable rail on one side of the frame for exactly that reason, don't they?
So lay it on its side with the frame rail in place, then take the rail out of the way, then you can just lift it away.
Lift the frame clear.
Bandits, right hand side. So if you lay the bandit on its right hand side, take the exhaust off, take the airbox off, get the engine as isolated as you can, get it hanging on 2 bolts, and then roll it on its side and lift the bike off it. Simple as that. Easy.
Good luck with it.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Make a video.
Make a video and have some Weetabix because you'll need it.
Matt Smith says he's got a 98 Daytona T595.
Cool.
Nice. Beautiful bike to ride, but he finds that his arms are pumping up as he goes on long rides because of the bars. Someone's told him that he can put straight bars on it, Street Fighter look, but he's worried it might upset the handling and the general look of the bike. Any suggestions?
Oh, I don't think so. Well, actually, case in point here is Ninja Nelly.
Yes.
Ninja Nelly, the bike at a glance looks like a speed triple, but it's not. It's a Daytona.
It is. 515, You can do it. I mean, the flat bars. Can you reach them?
And I mean, he has. I don't know what bars he's got.
If you fitted these bars here.
I just pulled the label.
Which these are Renthal road bike flat, and if you fit those on your bike, they're dead flat. They're not going to have that usual rise. So all the cables and hoses should match okay. And you just got to get some clamps drilled for your top yoke, which we did in a recent video.
We did.
So that's reasonably easy. But
it won't be detrimental to your handling, really. I mean,
not detrimental, no.
No, I don't think so.
Take a bit to get used to it, won't it?
Yeah.
It's a new feeling and it's a new control. But if it's going to take away that kind of, I know how you feel because I get that, so you get aching hands, leaning on clip-ons. The only other thing is, potentially, is whether you can get a top yoke conversion kit. You can buy them, can't you? Where you put the bars up on top, it lifts them up. You can buy clip-ons as well, and I know some of the Chinese companies do them. They clip onto the bar, then they come up.
Crip-ons.
Crip-ons.
So you buy some crip-ons from China, and you can get them that come up. So we bought on the Aprilia, didn't we?
Well, no.
Aprilia. Crip-ons on the Aprilia. We're going to get all kinds of accusations. We're going to get so good. We got called racist before for that. Lacist.
So I'll stop now.
Stop. Enough.
You've got to make your bike
how many we got left? Because you can see he's getting sugar depressed.
Well,
we need
a
cake break. How many more?
That's alright. A few more. 4 or 5 more.
4 or 5 more for this one.
Right, M-Tech says, how many videos did it take before you thought you were helping people with their bikes, or was that the plan from the first video? And how long before you felt comfortable in front of the camera? Or did you just feel comfortable straight away?
It was quite a few videos before I realised anyone was there. Is anyone watching?
Actually, people don't realise it's harder to do.
Is it?
Yeah.
You find it out. That's why I've got so many outtake videos. I don't know really. I mean, I set out to do the first proper video on the Harley XR1200 service for a reason. I wanted to do that to show other people how easy it was to do, because that service is expensive. The 5,000 mile service was £350 and it took me an hour and a half. And I started realising it was a growing process. So I set out to do it from the beginning to try and show people things and teach things, because there's a lot of work in it. I don't want to do it for nothing. I want there to be some meaning to it and some benefit for others, because it's not just entertainment. There are millions of entertainment channels out there that are all very funny. So but for us, we wanted to mean something. So I never feel comfortable in front of the camera. I still don't now.
Actually, people will be surprised how long it takes to do a video.
It does, yeah, that's right. I mean, from walking in the garage with the camera to clicking final upload is 8 hours.
Yeah.
With all the editing and splicing of clips, and probably 3/4 of it is off camera and editing and making the video and splicing stuff in. And the better we get at it, the longer it takes, because we want to make better content. So yeah, it's a lot
and
of
me
work.
directing with my clapperboard.
Clapperboard, yeah. She doesn't clap it. She smacks me on the head. Idiot! Do it again. What about you? You do some videos yourself.
I do a little bit here and there. Yeah, and I'm never really comfortable in front of the camera. I just don't think you ever truly.
Yeah, we noticed it.
Yeah. I'll start gibbering and mixing up my
yeah, we noticed it. You're dribbling.
Right, next question. Right, Robert
That's the
Lynn.
promise of cake, that is.
Yeah.
It's because he's drinking.
I'm wasting away over it.
I know, we need some more tea in a minute.
Right, a few more, and then we can have a break.
Right.
Robert Lynn, are you going to put the airbox removal kit on the Triumph? I want to put one on my 01 Bonneville, and I love the style of your videos. Well, thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. That's very kind. No, I'm afraid is the answer. We're not going to put an airbox removal kit, purely because I don't think they're a good idea. Modern engines are tuned and designed to work with a still portion of air. You need an airbox. It's an important factor of the engine tuning, and to take it away will only ever decrease your engine's performance. It will make it lumpy. You'll have to do quite a lot of work to tune it so that it runs okay. And I know there's going to be people who say, yeah, it's fine if you tune ECU and you can retune and remap it and so on. Yes, you can run without them, but if you're going to run in the rain, if you're going to run at high speed, you're going to suffer in one way or the other, as simple as that. I think it's one of those things that's for looks only. And I don't know your history of old Triumphs. I don't remember a time when Triumphs had cone filters as standard.
They never did. I mean, you had the old...
Always had an airbox.
You had either that or the old biscuit tin.
Yeah, a little tin filter on the back, which was like its own little plenum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a very unique...
The only possible exception would be things like the old Gold Star would run just a bell mouth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right, but those bikes were just, I mean...
But then that was designed to be at full throttle all the time.
Exactly, and 45 horsepower if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Didn't make any proper power, did it? And also the other side of it as well is that if you're going to run those cone filters, you run the risk, other issues with mixture.
Yeah.
So if the bike's not running 100% correct, if when you've put them on you're not sure it's 100% correct, then you could risk damaging the motor. But personally, it's not something we ever plan to do. I don't think it looks very cool. I like the side panels on the Bonneville models. I think you can't see it. If you remove it, you have to take the side panels off, clear all that space behind to make the visual look of it clear through. Great if you're making a Brat style cafe bobber.
But the bike as it is, I mean, it's part of that sort of classic styling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Personally, I think the airbox on a bike is an important factor, and for us, they're going to stay there. So sorry about that. Sorry.
Right, Raymond McGarver. His sister-in-law's just passed her test and has bought a 600 GSX.
Super.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good
She's
choice.
planning to go on the NW200, but it's a predominantly male group of riders that she's going with, and she's worried that she's going to hold everyone back. I wanted to know if there's any tips that I can pass on. She's very nervous. She's worried she's going to hold the experienced boys back.
What do you think, man?
I was going to say something very controversial.
Well, go on then, say it. We've been saying it all morning. What?
I've seen some blokes ride like girls.
yeah, well, we just, That's the point, isn't it?
You've just got to take the bull by the horns and just treat yourself as one of them.
Yeah, don't see yourself as a girl.
No.
Don't see that as in any way...
I never have seen myself as a girl riding. I just ride a bike.
No difference. In fact, when you look at Sarah Lazito, if any boys out there can ride as well as she can, I'll buy you a cake. because you couldn't. Not for more than the first wheelie.
Yeah, well, yeah, not for more than the first 15 seconds.
If you've got the right group of friends, you'll all
right.
look out for each other. I mean, I, as a girl, even look out for some of the blokes that we ride with, because if they're new riders and they're a bit nervous, and I've got a lot more experience than them.
And we do seem to have our fair share of relative novices, don't we?
Well,
and don't see yourself as a girl rider.
But this is a great point, actually. The women riders will admit that they're concerned and scared and worried and nervous, and they'll take their time and they'll not worry about appearing that way. Blokes, with of course the testosterone bravado thing, they will always think that they are a riding god, go up the road and go into a hedge.
Yeah. And even if they are nervous, they're not going to admit it.
They're not going to ever admit it, because that's not cool, is it?
No.
And I think that's the point. Women riders are far less likely to go into a hedge in their first year or so, because they take it steady and they build it up as they go. Blokes get out there and how hard can it be? Bang. Twigs.
The only
So that's the
thing I
point.
try and do through the videos is show that you can ride a bike like the Triumph, you can ride a Harley, you can be confident, and
Just
you
ride
should
your
just
own
take
ride,
the ball
don't
by
you?
the horns and just ride.
Just don't take
just
part in the
practice.
Northwest 200.
No, don't take part in the North. Actually, that would be cool. I'm a bit nervous of this Northwest 200 thing. How do you think I'm going to get on?
But I hope it helps.
Be nice knowing you.
I was going to say, you too, honestly. I hope it helps, but feel free to drop me an email, and I'm happy to have a chat with you if it would help.
Cool. Any more?
Arno.
Arno.
Hi Arno. It says,
Arno's in Germany.
when you're planning your builds, do you use mood boards, drawings,
Oh, what? What's a mood board?
Well, you know, when you design...
That's the mood you're in when someone's hit you with a board.
You with a board, yeah. A mood board.
Honestly, you
my
can't
word.
get the style.
Honestly, I don't even know what a mood board is. What do you mean, like a storyboard?
But we're quite creative people, and I create for a living every day, so a lot of it's in our head.
It's in your head, really. I just make up as you go along, didn't you?
Yeah, it is in our head.
I think that's it. I don't plan a build, but I do have a vision of what the finished style of bike is going to look like. So you don't want to start out to build a chopper and end up building a cafe. So, oh, what happened there?
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Bugger. Let's try again. Hopefully the next one.
It had so much promise.
Yeah, exactly. But I think personally, you need to start out with a single vision of the bike and then be guided as you go along, so you get the best of both worlds. You can make what you want. You can be creative in different ways. You can allow the creative process to develop and evolve, but along a single theme. And I think that's important. You can do that by drawing a kind of Roland Sands style drawing picture like he does, and then finish the bike. But when you look at the drawings and you look at his finished bikes, they're very rarely like it. They kind of got the look, but they're not exactly the same. And isn't that the same for cars? You see these concept cars?
Yeah.
No concept.
The actual thing that comes out off the production line, doesn't it? Yeah.
They don't look the same, but it has to have that theme. So we have an idea where we're going, but we allow the route to ride itself. And that's
It
it.
depends on your creativity and your thought processes.
And I'm going to Google mood boards.
Yeah.
Right.
And that'll have to be it for this round one, because I'm desperate for the loo.
Desperate for the loot and a cup of tea and some cake.
Right, well, okay, we're going to hold it there.
We'll hold it there. We're going to have a break now.
We're going to have a break and a cup of tea, but we were very concerned about the amount of calories that you consume
Yes.
when you come here.
Well, you've got a
So,
lentil bar or something, haven't you?
No, we've got you
Stick of
something.
celery?
I've got you something really special. I've got you a carrot cake.
That looks familiar.
Let me show the camera. This is a carrot cake we got from Mr Dyson. We felt that it would be a worthy and healthy option for him. So we're going to make some tea and have some, cake. You can have your carrot. And we'll join you in a minute for part 2. See you in a minute.
That is fantastic.